we have some very concerning updates about Caitlin Clark's injury.
Caitlin Clark is officially out. As you can see, Caitlin Clark still not practicing, and Stephanie White did in fact give a somewhat concerning update when it comes to Caitlin Clark.
Return to practice at all? No return to practice.
Scott said, have patience. At least several more weeks.
The Indiana Fever reporter, Scott Agnes, he's talking about it's going to be at least a couple of weeks. Which one is it?
It's day to day. It's day to day. Then there's no timetable for recovery.
Reporting around Caitlin Clark's injury because I feel like it is getting stranger by the day. It has been a month now that Caitlin has been out.
2 minutes ago, shocking details emerged about Caitlin Clark's injury.
This stuff is definitely looking concerning because it's showing us that could there be more to her injury and they're not being transparent.
And what her doctor revealed has fans stunned. The truth behind her absence might be far more serious than we've been told, and the latest updates are raising big questions about her future this season. Comment 100% if you stand with Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark has not played a game since July the 17th. It is now August 12th. In 5 days, Caitlin Clark will be out a whole 30-plus days.
Caitlin Clark hasn't stepped on the court since mid-July, officially sidelined with what the team called a groin strain. On paper, that might sound like a short-term setback, but here we are, more than a month later, and the situation has only gotten stranger.
The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day. And then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely.
Instead of a clear recovery plan, fans have been fed a stream of mixed messages. Day-to-day, game time decision, out indefinitely, and now even at least several more weeks.
And just yesterday, she was listed as a game time decision for today's game against the Dallas Wings. And then after practice yesterday, Coach Stephanie White basically came out and said, like, no, Caitlin Clark hasn't even been practicing. So they changed it from a game time decision to her being out. This has been all over the place.
No return to practice. She's been able to get a little bit more in her full court running, with her all her body weight. It's really building up from doing minimal to then building some endurance. To do longer periods of time. She's been able to do a little bit more on the court in terms of how she moves, but not into practice yet, no.
Each update feels like it cancels out the one before. Coach Stephanie White admitted that Caitlin hasn't returned to full practice yet. The most she's done is some light work, slowly building endurance and a bit of full court running. But even that's been on her own, not with the team.
They were literally saying in July that she was full court sprinting. That Caitlin Clark has been sprinting since July. Clearly there is something. If she's gone from full court sprinting and she can't even shoot with the team.
This comes after reports back in July claiming she was sprinting at full speed and close to returning. If she's been able to sprint for weeks, why isn't she even taking part in team drills? That's the question nobody in the organization seems willing to answer.
There's a 0% chance she plays the next 6 days. This is why those automated sites don't mean shit. It's the literal WNBA website. Like, why do people it's the automated things?
To make matters more confusing, ESPN's injury tracker and the WNBA's own listings have sometimes marked her as a game time decision on days when insiders knew there was zero chance she'd play.
Indiana Fever, are y'all using Caitlin Clark to continue to sell tickets when y'all know she's not going to play?
Some believe this isn't just sloppy reporting. It could be a calculated move to keep ticket sales and TV ratings high.
She's nowhere close to being back. She is nowhere close to being back. Apparently, the game time decision is literally the WNBA doesn't actually take data from teams. Apparently ESPN is automated.
Dangling hope that she might suddenly return. But the reality, according to several sources close to the team, is that Caitlin is nowhere near ready for live game action.
This stuff is definitely looking concerning because it's showing us that could there be more to her injury and they're not being transparent.
Because we can't trust the organization or the inside reporters, and that's nasty.
This isn't just about missing a few games. It's about the absence of transparency and the widening gap between what's being told to the public and what's actually happening behind the scenes. For a star of Caitlin Clark's magnitude, that kind of uncertainty doesn't just frustrate fans, it risks shaking their trust entirely.
It has been a month now that Caitlin has been out, and we still don't know when she will be returning to the court, if she will be returning to the court this season.
What makes Caitlin Clark's injury situation even harder to swallow is the way information is being handled, or rather, mishandled. For over a month, fans have been stuck in limbo, not knowing when or even if they'll see her back on the court this season.
With Stewie or Fee, she'll be reevaluated in 2 weeks, which means, you know what, she's out for a minimum of 2 weeks. With the fever, it's day to day. Then there's no timetable for recovery.
Normally, when a star player goes down, teams follow a standard communication pattern. Announce the injury, give a projected recovery window, and provide periodic updates with reevaluation dates. But with Caitlin, the Indiana Fever have done the exact opposite.
The day after she had the groin injury, she was listed as day-to-day. And then a couple weeks after that, then she was listed to being out indefinitely. Now, ESPN had August 12th as the circled return date for Caitlin Clark to get back onto the court. And just yesterday, she was listed as a game time decision for today's game against the Dallas Wings. And then after practice yesterday, Coach Stephanie White basically came out and said, like, no, Caitlin Clark hasn't even been practicing. So they changed it from a game time decision to her being out. This has been all over the place.
Instead of transparency, they've created a cloud of confusion. They list her as day-to-day 1 week, then out indefinitely the next. At times, she's suddenly labeled a game-time decision, even when she hasn't practiced once with the team. Coach Stephanie White herself confirmed that Caitlin has not taken part in any official practice drills, yet those injury labels keep hinting she could play at any moment.
Somebody's lying. This is nasty. This is bad business, and y'all need to tighten up. If y'all gonna lie, can y'all at least lie together? I think y'all missed the part. You supposed to at least.
That's not just misleading. It's a complete disconnect between reality and what's being told to the public. Then there's the statement from Fever insider Scott Agnes, who replied to a fan comment saying people should have patience because Caitlin is at least several more weeks away from returning. That timeline would put her back right at the end of the regular season, or possibly not until the playoffs, leaving only a handful of games to get her back into rhythm. The problem is, this message directly contradicts the team's public stance that she's close and could return soon.
There's no reason that an actual inside reporter who works for the organization, gets credentialed by the organization, should be able to come out and say a player is several weeks away from return while the team is saying they could be back any moment now, any minute.
One side says, any day now. The other says, weeks away. For fans, it's impossible to know who, if anyone, is telling the truth. This lack of a united message has created a frustrating reality for supporters. Thousands of people have been buying tickets, traveling, and tuning in with the hope that this might be the game she returns. Instead, game after game passes without her and without a real explanation. It's no surprise many believe the organization is prioritizing revenue and attention over honesty. The idea that her name could be used as a marketing tool, suggesting a potential return to boost sales, while privately knowing she won't play, is a bitter pill for loyal supporters to swallow.
Now, ESPN had August 12th as the circled return date for Caitlin Clark to get back onto the court.
For a player like Caitlin, who has brought unprecedented attention, attendance, and revenue to this franchise, this communication breakdown doesn't just affect the fans, it affects her brand and her relationship with the public. The longer this goes on, the more it feels like the people in charge are playing a game of misdirection, leaving those who genuinely care about her stuck in the dark.
Like, that's a scary thing. She's running with all of her body weight. Like, that's not a great thing for a coach to say.
Beyond the confusion and frustration, there's a much bigger issue at play here. Caitlin Clark's long-term health, her career trajectory, and the direction of the Indiana Fever as a franchise. Right now, there's a dangerous mix of pressure, expectation, and uncertainty surrounding her return.
Started calling Fever fans racist because of, and then quote tweeted a Chicago Sky fan calling her an Alyssa Smith. I didn't know an Alyssa Smith was a slur, but you know what? Probably it's not a compliment.
Every day she's not on the court, the speculation grows. Every vague or conflicting update only adds more tension. And if the team mishandles this situation, the damage could go far beyond the remainder of this season. First, there's the risk of rushing her back. A groin injury, especially one that lingers for over a month, is nothing to take lightly. These injuries can easily be aggravated if a player returns before fully healing, leading to more severe setbacks or even chronic problems that follow them for years.
for all last season to the point that you're hurt this whole season. Like, we trying to hang in there with you, but this is not going to work. You're going to have to put your foot down and let them know, like, bro.
For someone like Caitlin, whose style of play depends heavily on quick cuts, explosive movement, and sharp changes of direction, even a slight limitation could impact her effectiveness and put her at risk for other injuries. The temptation to bring her back for the playoff push is strong, but the cost of re-injury could be far greater than missing a few more games. Second, there's the reality of rhythm and chemistry. Even if she does return before the regular season ends, the clock will be ticking.
So Scott Agnes, right? He stated, somebody said, Scott Agnes, I think you're wrong. Again, you think it'll be a couple more weeks before CC returns to practice. Please stop always saying negative and depressing hit about Caitlin Clark. She has been running full court consistently as reported for over a week. She may be maybe a matter of days before she returns, so full practice and then live games. Now, he said, maybe you should just trust me. So
if Scott Agnes's several more weeks prediction is accurate, she could have just a handful of games to get back into competitive shape before the playoffs. That's not a lot of time to regain form, sync up with teammates, and reestablish her leadership role on the floor.
From my understanding, bro, what's going on with Cleveland? I mean, I say Cleveland. Sorry, guys. I've been covering the other channel a little hard. What's going on in Indiana is that I feel like a lot of these people in the front office, a lot of these people up in Indy for the Fever do not care for Caitlin Clark.
The Fever may think a limited return is better than none, but history shows that rushing back late in the season often leads to inconsistent play and unfair criticism when the team doesn't instantly click. Third, this situation is about more than just the current injury.
So you guys have lied at every turn. We can't believe nothing y'all say, but we damn sure can't believe Scott Agnes. So the fans, we in a pickle. This is a tough spot.
It's about how the franchise treats its biggest star. Caitlin Clark isn't just another player on the roster. She's the reason thousands of new fans are watching the Fever, traveling to away games, and breaking attendance records.
I've been saying this. Caitlin Clark adding that muscle was way too fast. Probably messed up her mobility and her, basically her equilibrium is off. Her balance is off. She's walking funny.
Mishandling her injury updates or using her name to sell tickets without clear communication erodes trust between the team and its fan base and between Caitlin and the organization itself. Feeling misled, pressured, or undervalued could shape her future decisions about her career in Indiana. Finally, there's the message this sends to the rest of the league. The WNBA has been riding a wave of growth in large part because of Caitlin's impact.
Did you not tell the Indiana Fever that you were gonna lie? Somebody got it. There was miscommunication somewhere. Your words don't match up with each other's. You told your girl y'all was at the bowling alley at 2 a.m. and Sheikah asked Tyreek, and Tyreek told her y'all was at the hookah lounge.
If the most marketable, most talked about rookie in years is caught in a cycle of secrecy, mixed messaging, and questionable decision-making from her team, it reflects poorly on the entire league. The Fever have an opportunity to show they prioritize player health and transparency, but so far they're letting that opportunity slip. At the heart of all this is one simple truth. Caitlin Clark's career is just beginning. She has the talent to be a generational player, but how this injury is managed will set the tone for how she and the Fever move forward together. One wrong move now could have lasting consequences, not just for the playoff race, but for the trust, loyalty, and future success of the franchise.
People crashing out, she'll be back when she's cleared and healthy, not before. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine.
Caitlin Clark has done more for the Indiana Fever and the WNBA in a few short months than most players could in years. She's filled arenas, broken TV records, and brought a level of excitement that's impossible to ignore. But the way her injury has been handled, the secrecy, the conflicting updates, the constant guessing game, has left fans frustrated and concerned. Whether she returns this season or not, one thing is clear. Caitlin's health and career must come first. No ticket sale, no ratings boost, no playoff storyline is worth risking the long-term future of one of basketball's brightest stars. The organization owes it to her and to the fans to be transparent, united, and honest. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a groin strain. It's about respect, trust, and protecting the player who has carried this team into the national spotlight. And if there's one thing everyone can agree on, it's this. Caitlin Clark deserves better than uncertainty. Comment 100% if you stand with Caitlin Clark, and let's make sure her voice, her health, and her future are always the top priority.